Hey, how you doing? This is Wumpa Jim speaking for Crashy News, as I'll be providing my own voice this time for this particular video. Let's just hope I'm pronouncing the words correctly this time.
Ordered for a vacuum gun and decided to open his own dinner after seeing the destruction of his beloved dinner.
Last time on the channel, we broke down the official reveal of Crash Team Rumble, a brand new kind of multiplayer spin-off for the series. So new in fact that the team at Toys for Bob cannot determine which genre it would belong to themselves. And it's fair to say that the initial impressions at the reveal were generally mixed. Putting the years of Wumpa League rumors aside, the way the game was presented in its early marketing was too vague and ambiguous for either the dedicated fans and the general audience to really grasp the concept's appeal. The announcement trailer only had 10 seconds of actual gameplay, and that's without mentioning the fatigue for the live service model, which sees a lot of games of that type recently pulling their plug. Really, the only way Toys for Bob could reverse the narrative around their game would be to let people actually get their hands on it. And this is why we're here today. As part of GDC 2023, Activision invited the press and influencers to try out an early build of Crash Team Rumble on PS5. And as soon as the previews hit, the general reception looked to be incredibly positive, with many stating it reversed their skepticism and told people to not sleep on it. And it wouldn't be long for the larger public to see if those testimonies were valid, as it was also announced the game will enter its closed beta period during April for them to try out. Under the condition you fork over that wallet and pre-order the game, of course. Cha-ching! Or you could have been one of the lucky ones that redeemed some free codes by entering a giveaway or for press coverage. I did get one for myself despite already pre-ordering the game, but hey, that means I got to preload it ahead of schedule. So after a bouncy intro animation, followed by a bunch of legal mumble jumbo that nobody reads, and a notice about connecting to online services, confirming it is online only, we're suggested to start out by learning the ropes of the game. Once we pick up on the very basic movement options and a sample of Crash's attacks, we get to learn step by step about the various mechanics that serve the primary goal of the game, stashing Wumpa fruit. First are the gem platforms, or just gems as they are referred. There are sets of about 3 or 4 depending on the stage, and you'll have to jump on them to capture them for your team while preventing enemy players from taking over by knocking them out. Capturing gems long enough will grant the team a Wumpa boost, which increases the amount of Wumpa you deposit to your team's bank by a certain percentage for a limited time. Capturing all the gems in a stage will effectively double your Wumpa score at deposit, so you better hurry up to take advantage of it. Then there are the special powers. You can equip one of several kinds to your character, such as this flat trap spinner, which slows down enemies it hits. You can summon your power once you fully charge the bar, which you'll do faster if you perform your role on the team well enough. Which brings me to the roles the playable heroes are assigned to. They are the scorers, who are meant to secure as many Wumpa fruit that are left on the field to then deposit to the team's bank. Certainly the most straightforward role. They are the blockers, who are meant to block the opposing team from scoring their Wumpa, primarily by attacking them. They can serve as goalies that guard the bank of the opposing team. And there are the boosters, who are meant to focus on capturing gems to help out their teammates, as well as activate relic stations, which I'll bring up in a moment. Now, I'd like to clarify that while these roles bring some advantages specific to them, like relics being more common to collect for boosters, even picking up double relics, they don't really restrict you into that playstyle, but more so reflects how their moveset and stats works best for that playstyle in particular. So if you want to play as Coco but in the playstyle of a scorer, you can do so. Nothing is stopping you. Trust me, I've earned lots of badges as top scorer with Coco despite being classed as a booster. Anyway, the last aspect to cover are the relics. They are scattered all around the stage and are dropped at relic stations that grant various powers and bonuses that are specific to that stage. Like this beach ball that greatly improves your mobility and can charge into enemies. We're now thrown into a little test run through a match with bots. Admittedly, it was pretty breezy given the bots were not that aggressive and the Wumpa score target was halved, but wait until you throw yourself into the real deal. After learning the basics, we're not allowed to jump into the main menu, and already a few details strike me. To start, there's a panel down on the right that's called Aku's First Tasks, which includes a list of challenges to complete for cosmetic rewards. That's most likely to become the daily and weekly challenges. Then there's where you can access the Battle Pass, which features a row of cosmetic rewards you get to unlock by earning enough experience points. These rewards include, but are not limited to, full character skins, emote animations, adding hats and backpacks, changing the appearance of the character's signature weapon or tool, as well as their shadow. Yes, there's Shadow. You know, the enhanced Shadow introduced in Crash 4 that helped indicate when you will land from a jump. You can change that. In the pre-order listings for either editions of the game, it's indicated that the premium battle passes will be offered for the first 2 seasons. The word premium will indicate there's a 2-tiered system with a free battle pass accessible to everyone. In other live service games, like Rocket League or Apex, there will be 2 rows of unlockable rewards, with the free battle pass offering less valuable rewards at a less frequent pace. But in this closed beta build, there's only 1 row. At first, I thought the marketing could be misleading, and that the entire battle pass will be locked behind a paywall like in Fortnite. But I then realized that Fortnite does have some rewards to claim without paying the premium. It's just that the UI mixes them in with the premium rewards under one single row. So it's likely to work the same way with Rumble. Either way, there will be other ways to unlock cosmetics outside of the battle pass, as demonstrated by the fact that each hero has their own progression bar with rewards specific to them. And the experience points you've gained after a match will fill both the battle pass and the hero's progression bar in equal amounts. Not to mention, each character has their own set of challenges to complete. Speaking of heroes, there are 5 of them featured in this beta, with 2 to be unlocked by earning enough badges for performing role-specific tasks. There are Crash and Tawna, who serve as scorers, Coco and Dr. Cortex as boosters, and Digodile as the sole blocker. Regarding the confirmed characters who were missing from the beta, the official social media accounts confirm that Catbat will serve as a scorer, whilst Embryo and Entropy will serve as blockers. If you check the abilities specific to the hero you're about to play, you'll not only see what they're about and which buttons to press, but they also include pro tips that may help you get a competitive edge. As for the special powers, there's the Flytrap Spitter I mentioned earlier, but there's also the Healing Fridge, which heals you and your nearby allies when summoned. 2 more powers ought to be unlocked by earning badges for performing stage-specific actions, like activating relic stations. One of them, which is seemingly the most popular from our experience, is the Gaxmoxian Guard. Once charged, you can summon him wherever you want and will deal a big knockback slam from his entrance, as well as pulsing electrical damage each time he slams his stick. You can use him to protect your bank, to keep your enemy away from their bank, or to capture and control a gem. He's quite versatile, no wonder he's so popular. The other, which became my personal favorite, is the Wumpa stash. The more you stay alive, the more the stash will fill up, and once it's full, you can drop it into your team's bank to score. Plus, activating the stash a second time while still holding onto it will fill it automatically and raise its value in Wumpa. And yes, the Wumpa boost from gems does apply. So if you stuck through this video so far, you must be thinking, yeah, you described us the rules and strategies and what's on the main menu, but what do you even think of the game in practice? Well, if you looked at the game from the sidelines, it may seem pretty chaotic, and in many ways that's the case. It gets very hectic and people can get very competitive. I found myself fighting over controlling gems or even dropping my relics into the stations, like someone would fight over a massively discounted Takumi helmet on Black Friday. But trust me, after a few matches, you should quickly pick up how to assess the situation. And you may even see your winning ratio shifting considerably by the next day. While matches can get one-sided, it can be because the other team has yet to get a good grasp of things, or because they're stuck with mostly bots which are immediately useless and non-threatening. They are terrible. But I think where the game shines the most is in what I would call clutch moments, where both teams are close to winning by a few hundred, maybe even less, so there's a shot of adrenaline that hits every player on the field. Some are ruthlessly guarding their banks and use whatever means at their disposal, while some are dropping their relics to trigger events and attempt to control whichever gems are active. Whatever can provide an advantage to the one that managed to squeeze in their final Wumpa stack and win the game! It's moments like these that makes this game exhilaratingly fun. It can leave you hooked on it for hours and hours on end. And it's kind of crazy given it's only the base competitive mode that comprises the entirety of this beta. My personal mains will be Tawna and Coco, simply because of their great mobility. They're zipping all around the stage and they work great for reaching the closest items to collect, get ahead at the bank or gems, or escape some chaotic scuffle. On the other hand of the spectrum, Dr. Cortex might be my least favorite character to play. Now, he's not terrible or anything. I've seen people making great work out of him with his dash and vertical jumps, but I don't know. In theory, you should hold the button to shoot continuously, but half the time it only registers as one tap to shoot once. And I find the piano drop attack confusing with how it decides where it would get dropped, so you miss the target most of the time. In terms of balancing, it's quite obvious there will be some things that need to be tweaked in the final game. Crash and Coco's double slam has given a lot of trouble to other players I recall, and depending on the skill of who's playing him, Digodile can be on the verge of untouchable, especially when there's many of them at once. It's also worth noting that the the online servers were honestly quite stable for a game that's still in its beta phase. Never noticed any major hiccups in my end, and I've been playing through Wi-Fi. While most of my playthroughs were in public matchmaking, I've also given the private match mode a try to see if there's any customization, and there's a teensy bit of it. In addition to choosing the stage, you can also disable the presence of bots filling the missing slots. And with the right size of your party, that means you could do solo or double matches. I even experimented with a 4v1 match, with one lone player as a tanky character like Dingodile against a team of 4 players as low health characters like Tana, like a group of small fry hunters against a huge monster kind of thing. It ended up extremely one-sided, and not in the favor of the lone tank like I thought. Maybe 2 dingoes on the other side would have made it more fair. So, after trying it out with my own hands, what is my stance on Crash Team Rumble? Well, despite tasting a small slice of what's gonna be at launch, I would say Toys for Bob has already delivered well on building a strong gameplay loop that brings the franchise into new avenues, while maintaining enough familiarity from what we respect most from the series. Honestly, I can see this game doing quite well right out of the gate. Where my biggest concern lies, however, will be how it will persist in the long run. Even when this game was only vaguely rumored, I anticipated it to be Activision's attempt to make the series fully embrace the live service model. And as I brought up earlier, that segment of gaming looks to be on shaky ground, with many people voicing their apathy towards it, while others stick to the stalwarts like Fortnite and Destiny. Toys for Bob has a lot to carry on their back if they wish to avoid pulling the plug on the servers by the next 2 years and leaving the physical discs to get retooled into pizza cutters. So they'll have to play their cards right, and that means keeping the game fresh on a regular basis while keeping its structure in check, away from unfair grinding and abusive monetization. On that first point, a good variety of game modes would greatly help, as the game can only keep a steady momentum for so long with the same base competitive mode. Although the developers seems to have planned ahead, as a recent feedback survey suggests potential features such as co-op modes, free-for-all, multi-team, blitz and hardcore modes, classic mode types like capture the flag, ranked matchmaking, stronger customization of private matches, and even single player challenges and rewards. That does not mean they'll deliver all of that at once, of course, but that will make for a sweet package, don't you think? All I can say to conclude is, have the best of luck, Toys for Bob, because you clearly have something there. Thank you for sticking through this whole video with me. I don't know if I'll ever voice my own thoughts on Rumble again. If I ever do a review on it, I'll keep it brief to focus on what has been added and tweaked since this closed beta. Afterwards, I'll let our usual narrator do his thing for when we cover the seasonal updates on the game, so keep an eye on those. I'm actually working on a really big video project for this channel. By the time it's out, it will be over a year in the making, and those who follow me on social media should have a good idea of what I'm talking about. To those who don't, I won't say anything and let you look up for yourself. I don't want to jinx it. Until then, be sure to leave a like, share the video, and subscribe to the channel if you wish to see more videos like this. For more immediate coverage, please check the Crashy News website and follow us on social media. You can also support us directly by leaving a donation on our Ko-fi page, links in the description below. Thank you for watching Crashy News, have a good one.